You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
And we're learning more about the 3 unidentified objects shot down by U.S. fighter jets over the weekend.
Most recent taken out over Michigan on Sunday. A U.S. official saying they're almost certain those 3 UFOs are weather balloons, but concerns are growing as there have now been at least 4 incidents in the past 9 days, including that Chinese spy balloon shot down off the coast of South Carolina. ABC's Justin Finch joins us now with more from Washington.
The Biden administration sharing more insight about those 3 high-altitude objects shot down over the weekend.
I want to reassure Americans that these objects do not present a military threat to anyone on the ground.
On Sunday, a U.S. fighter jet fired a Sidewinder missile that took out an unidentified aircraft over Lake Huron, Michigan, that authorities say posed a risk to civilian aviation. Michigan Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin is a former intelligence operative.
The chances are this is just a normal run-of-the-mill thing that we and the intelligence community know how to exploit.
A day earlier, the U.S. shot down another object flying over the Yukon in Canada after President Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gave the order. President Biden also ordering another high-altitude object shot down on Friday off the Alaskan coast. A U.S. official says these craft are believed to be weather balloons. It is still unclear where those objects originated, but these objects are much smaller than that Chinese surveillance balloon shot down in South Carolina 9 days ago. A U.S. official reporting progress on that search as a large portion of that balloon's payload has been recovered, including a fragment measuring some 30 feet long with technical equipment and antennas.
The Chinese spy balloon was at 60,000 plus, well outside commercial air traffic concerns. These 3 were right on the border of it. So there was a legitimate concern there.
And as for why the U.S. appears to be finding more high-altitude aircraft, Kirby says it's because the military has recalibrated its radar system to track smaller, slower-moving objects. Officials say the president has also called for an interagency team to focus on these kinds of objects and any potential risks they pose. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Thank you, Justin. Well, whether your team won or lost, there's no denying that for both sides, last night's big game was a great game. From the game itself to the halftime show and those high-profile and high-priced commercials, there were highs and lows, tears for Jason Kelce and Mama Donna after the Eagles' loss, and Travis Kelce getting the same support from his mom after his win. But the biggest winners of the night, could we say Rihanna fans, a.k.a. the Navy?
Yellow diamonds in the light, and we're standing side by side.
All right, Riri revealing a baby bump, simultaneously announcing a pregnancy and becoming the first pregnant woman to have headline the halftime show. Game day really is all about the snacks, though, and the ads, Ben and Jen in Dunkin' and more Superstar commercials. A team of volunteers from the Food Recovery Network working overnight, taking leftover food items from the stadium, like the cheeseburgers and chicken wings and fresh seafood, all to Phoenix Rescue Mission.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
All right, Alana back in studio tonight after an incredible sunset.
Okay, and I just want to say I enjoyed Rihanna. Alana, we chatted about this beforehand. Can we just go back to that for a minute? Did you like the show?
I feel like every song, she hit every song. I thought that she did really, really well. And a new mom, and she's pregnant again. So she just did her thing. Good for her. Also, I really like the game, Glenn.
Yes.
I mean,
The game was a good one.
Tell me, in the last 5 minutes.
The game at the Rihanna concert.
There you go.
Was a good one.
In the last 5 minutes, it became a totally
And I
new
thought
game.
Rihanna was good, too. I wasn't, like, blown away, but I thought it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, I like that. I like that. I wasn't blown away, but I thought it was good. That's how I felt about the Eagles. Okay, we're going, speaking of Eagles, I was out at Farmington Bay looking for them. We didn't find Eagles, but we did find shots like this. Incredible sunset. Scott Taylor caught this one in Magna. I was up in Farmington, but across the board, it was just beautiful out there tonight, and it was due to the increasing cloud cover, the inversion that's in place, and then, gosh, the pops of color. Thank you to Brian Whiteleather for sending that our way. Just stunning throughout the state when it came to that sunset. Temperatures right now, they're chilly, just above freezing in Salt Lake. Teens in Logan, it's 0 in Vernal. We've got a lot of 20s and 30s and 40s down there in St. George. Now let's take a look at the wind chill. This is the real feel of the temperature, and You can tell it feels like single digits up in Logan and -8 in Vernal. Feels like the 20s along the Wasatch Front, and that's just with minimal wind. Now, we know a cold front's going to sweep through and change things up, and that's going to bring northwesterly flow and strong winds. So tomorrow night, wind chills are going to be wicked. Yeah, we've got warnings in place. This is for Tuesday into Wednesday for Cache Valley. So a heads up, -30. They're going back sub-zero for Cache Valley, and it's not just them. Bryce Canyon Country also part of this, and down near Zion National Park, a portion of Washington County near Springdale could feel like 0. That doesn't often happen, but with the northwesterly flow, we will see enhanced canyon winds and very cold air. So that's one layer of this storm. The next, well, the accumulating snow that's prompting the winter weather advisory in purple here that goes into effect at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see that winter storm warning on the eastern side of the state for the LaSalle and Abajo Mountains. But we're going to see accumulating mountain snow in central and southern Utah, but also for the valleys. And with gusty winds, that's blowing snow, and so travel will be complicated. A heads up there. Let's look at the timing of the storm. Keep your eye on the clock in the corner of your screen. But this evening, we had clear skies. You could call it the calm before the storm, but then here comes the front. It's going to sweep through, and it brings a band of precipitation. And so isolated to scattered snow showers. It will be light in the north, but we will have cold temperatures, so this could ice up pretty quickly. The morning commute tomorrow could be rough, so just plan accordingly. Not a tremendous amount of snow, but in the way of icy conditions, so you want to be careful. As we head into tomorrow, we watch that band. By about 5:30, it's in central Utah, so a portion of I-15 could see light snow. Heads up there, and we're going to watch that front head south and look at that snow that fills in as we get through the morning hours there. Boy, from Delta all the way down to Cedar City, this is the area that's going to see road snow, so a heavy amount of snow expected in that portion of the state. Snow showers in the north by lunch. You notice how that extends over onto the eastern side of the state. We get windier, colder conditions with snow showers through the evening. So because we will have cold temperatures and that northwesterly flow, we could see a slick evening commute as well. As we take a check on, oh, here we go by 10 p.m. redeveloping there, we get wraparound moisture. And so we really get love from Mother Nature on Valentine's Day in the way of moisture, and that lingers into Wednesday. How much is expected? Okay, northern Utah isn't looking at a tremendous amount, but a trace to 2 inches is possible. 1 to 4 on the benches. Our mountains doing well, 5 to 10 in the cottonwoods, but it's central and southern Utah here that's going to be hit hard with the core of this moisture. 2 to 5 inches for the valleys. Mountain valleys doing a little better, and the mountains, including near Bryan Head, the Tushers, and the Henry Mountains, could pick up a quick foot. So there you go. This system coming through, and it will start to pull away on Wednesday and head east. 20s and 30s for tomorrow, but with the winds, it'll feel significantly less than that. 20s and 30s on the eastern side of the state, freezing in Cedar City, and 40s in St. George, where, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see rain turning to snow and the possibility of straight snow by Wednesday morning if moisture potential is still there. Something to be aware of. We've got 40s that turn back to the 50s. We don't get another chance of wet weather until President's Day, so we've got a couple of days there. Breezy conditions will be around, but that wind chill is going to be noticeable. We dry out, but we're going to stay below average. Won't get back to average until the weekend. A little bit of cloud cover there, so heads up.
Back into those teens.
Here we go.
It's going to feel cold tomorrow, and we've got the snow coming, and it's a holiday, and I'm just heart eye emojis for all the moisture. Let's take it. Let's take it. So,
all right.
On to
Thanks so
luck.
much,
Yeah.
Alana. Well, as we celebrate our 75th anniversary, we're finding lots of historic pictures and film about the history of television. That's because our original owner started experimenting with TV long before we even officially went on the air in 1948.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago, we showed our owners TV demonstrations in an old department store in the 1930s. Our Craig Worth says that was just the beginning. There wasn't really anywhere to get more equipment, so our engineers started building more cameras and control room electronics.
and of course, they didn't keep this work a secret. There were lots of new demonstrations to amaze Utahns throughout the 1940s.
Well, it's a good thing that our original station owner, Sid Fox, liked a good promotion, as he saw TV as a great promotion, and that was as far back as 1939. It's when he brought the New York World's Fair TV demonstration unit to Utah, and thousands crowded in to see live TV.
Well, back during the Second World War, there was another building here along 2nd East and 1st South. It was the KDYL Radio Playhouse, and upstairs there was sort of a secret project going on.
A team of top engineers was building homemade equipment for television. Our company had KDYL radio, and my goodness, we would have a TV station as soon as the government lifted wartime restrictions. The small inconvenience of not having a station, government license, or transmitter did not stop our owner Sid Fox from doing TV throughout the 1940s. Fresh off his triumphant 1939 demonstrations, he kept building interest. He took everything to the state fair and put up circus-like posters. He now billed TV boldly as the scientific marvel of the age, for he invented reality TV, a talent contest, sound familiar, and the Teletot contest. Yes, who was the cutest kid in town? Now, we might not have had a station in the early 1940s, but we had a studio and a real cool neon sign at the state fair for the daily demos. Singers sang, cattle mooed, and amazed crowds just kept watching. Meanwhile, back at the lab, engineers kept making homemade parts to match up with the World's Fair cameras. A camera setup to film TV ads, some way to make a transmitter work, a studio to shoot station breaks, a way to put film movies on TV, monitors for the control room, and pieces of the control room for those homemade monitors. And the war ended. Returning soldiers got the first peek at the amazing stuff.
And then they took all that fancy equipment and put it in an old building right here and put a fancy sign on the side. That building told Utah that television was here, from a studio where the City Creek Center is now located. And they had that task to find perhaps the tallest building in town, to put a tower on top so you could broadcast to the whole city, or at least part of it.
Yes, this was the tallest place. And that was Channel 4's transmitter location. The iconic city landmark was a TV tower. Now they were ready to throw the switch and to see if all the handmade equipment worked. This was also new, that the government could only issue an experimental license. Channel 4 would be called W6XIS. Well, they drew up a card and played an old record and filmed it all as a test. It worked. Fortunately, they saved that historic film. Station artist Mark Hampson drew up promotional signs. See, the owner didn't want this to go unnoticed. Oh, this was big. Mark had his work cut out.
He was a promoter. He could see what the possibilities of television were going to be in the advertising. And that's what made him great. He was fun to work with, really.
Mark Hampson drew up more cards. There would be more music and test patterns. And now TV was here, if only in test, all to go on the air as Utah's first TV station in 1948. Craig Worth, ABC 4 News.
That's so good.
I know. Our thanks always to Craig Worth. We always have such fun time watching his
and
stories.
Wes has been there since day one.
17 years old, I think, at the time.
We're so lucky to have you around still, Wes.
Are we, though?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. All right. Speaking of sports.
A lot of new guys getting some playing time on the Jazz.
Yeah, because they're short-handed right now.
Right.
So that's what they're trying to get the rookies some time. The Utah Jazz continue their pre-All-Star break road trip. Tonight they were in Indiana. The Jazz